Today we're going to take a look in Chapter 8 at how to do percent composition of compounds. It's a really simple concept, just a little bit of math involved. We're going to find the mass percent of an element in a compound by taking the mass of that element and dividing it by the mass of the compound, and multiplying that times 100. This is kind of similar to if you were to have a test, and let's go back to this slide. Let's say that we had, you wanted to know your percent on the test. So you would take what you received, divided by the total possible, and multiply it times 100, and that would give you the percent on the test. Well, it's the same thing when we're looking at the percent composition of compounds. We're going to find out how much each element's mass is in that compound. We're going to divide it by the mass of the compound, total compound, and multiply it times 100. And if you do your math right, then every time you do this for each element in a compound, your total percent should always add up to 100%. So let's look at an example. We want to know for iron and iron 3 oxide what the percent composition is. So I'm going to go ahead and take it one step further and show you the iron and the oxygen, because sometimes that both will be asked for, sometimes just one. But what you're going to do is start off like we have been doing for the molar mass. So we write down iron, and there are 2 of those, and we have oxygen, and there are 3 of those. Iron is 55.85 grams per mole. So 2 times 55.85 is going to be a total of 111.7. Oxygen is 16 grams per mole. So 16 times 3 is a total of 48. And we're going to add that together and get a total of 159.7. So in order to find our mass percent of iron, we would take 111.5, which is iron. So we're going to take that 111.7 and divide it by the total, which is 159.7. So 111.7 divided by 159.7, and then we're going to take that answer, let's put this in here, times 100. Our total is 69.943. So we're going to round it to 2 places past the decimal. Let's look at, and this would be our answer for this question. So 69.94% of this compound is made up of iron. Let's go ahead and calculate the oxygen, because I'll show you what I expect every time when you do this, or what you should learn to expect. So we take the mass of the oxygen, which is 48, and we divide it by the total, which is 159.7. Multiply that times 100, and we get 30.06% is oxygen. And you notice when we add this up all together, then we end up with 100%. So if you do this problem and it asks, instead of just for iron, it asks for iron and oxygen, or both elements in the compound, and you add them together and you don't get 100.00% or 99.99%, then you've done something wrong. So it's a good way to check your work. So percent composition, we found the percent composition of iron and iron 3 oxide without much trouble at all. So you're just taking what we've learned with finding the molar mass and taking it just a step further and changing it to percents.